Good evening. My name is Jackie Alexander, Artistic Director of the North Carolina Black Repertory Company, NC Black Rep, producers of the National Black Theater Festival, NBTF, and I'd like to welcome you to A Taste of Holy Ground. Tonight, we'll be presenting live performances from classic NBTF and NC Black Rep productions by artists from across the country, as well as sharing some history behind the company. I'm actually standing in the boardroom of the NC Black Rep offices here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And pictured behind me is the man who started it all, Larry Leon Hamlin, Mr. Martastic. For those of you not familiar with the word Martastic, it means nothing greater or better than. You see, Mr. Hamlin, after returning from New York in 1979 to take care of his ailing father, recognized that in his hometown of Winston-Salem, theater about and created by African Americans did not exist. So he formed NC Black Rep. 10 years later, NC Black Rep produced the inaugural National Black Theater Festival, christening Winston-Salem as Black Theater Holy Ground across the globe. The New York Times called NBTF one of the most historic and culturally significant events in the history of Black theater and American theater in general. In 2019, 30 years later, NC Black Rep produced its biggest festival to date, resulting in the staggering statistic of NBTF having generated over $230 million to the economy of Winston-Salem since its inception. To kick off that festival at our opening night gala, we picked a musical that examined the complexities of African American life while celebrating its creative genius, Jelly's Last Jam, which tells the story of Jelly Roll Morton. I directed the show, and there are some lyrics in one of the songs from that musical that go, "We are the rhythm that color your song." And that's what the festival is to the world of Black theater. So to start the evening, I'd like to take us to New Orleans, where Idella Johnson, Sweet Anita, will perform Play the Music for Me from Jelly's Last Jam.
Play me a midnight heat. Play a smoky room. Play a heat and a sheet. Oh, away. Oh, sugar. Play the music for me. Oh, sing it, yeah, swing it, sweet possibility. Play a soft caress, play a maybe, let's see. No guarantee. Oh, sugar, play the music for me. Music and the strutting of a fine-looking man. Music and the stroking of a sweet-talking head. Music and a lying. Music and a laughing. And loving a woman like nobody can. It's in the music where the loving should be. The music's in the living. Play the music for me. Hey, when you're talking the music, hey. And when you walk in the music, hey. Sugar, that's the way it's gotta be. The music's in the living. Hey, oh baby, that music.
Thank you, Idella. You don't need any music, girl. Fun fact, Idella won a Big Easy Best Actress Award for the first production of Jelly's Last Jam I directed at La Petite Theater in New Orleans back in 2017. Super talented woman. One of the things I've always stressed to people is that NBTF may only come around once every 2 years. The festival is produced the first week in August of every odd-numbered year, but NC Black Rep produces year-round. And one of our main goals is the discovery and development of new voices in African-American theater, highlighted by our commitment to produce one world premiere each season. That's a goal I'm sure would make this man very proud. For those of you who don't know, this is August Wilson, one of the greatest playwrights in theater history and an early supporter of NBTF. He's pictured here at the inaugural festival in 1989, accepting the Garland Anderson Playwright Award, an award that has been since renamed in Mr. Wilson's honor. 1 week after the world stopped spinning back in March due to COVID-19, NC Black Rep was scheduled to open the world premiere of Freedom Summer by Cynthia G. Robinson. The play tells the story of two African-American sisters, Nora, who is starting a new life passing as a white woman in Boston, while her sister Carrie prepares to travel to the Deep South to register Blacks to vote. It's a beautiful play that reminds us the price so many paid for our right to vote and the responsibility we have in making our voice heard in the political progress. With 2020 being an election year, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, I can't imagine a more important story to tell. We've had to move the production to February 2021, but joining us tonight, once again from New Orleans, who dat, is Mariah Gilmed, who plays Nora, performing a monologue from Freedom Summer.
You see reflection, and the reflection says that you are colored. And you see reflection of me, Nora, and the image in the mirror says that Nora is white. Mirrors don't lie, Carrie. They're pure truth. They're a reflection of what is, not what we want things to be. Look at my skin. It's as white as any white woman you've ever seen in your life. It's as white as the skin of that woman Mama's been working for the past 20 years. When I walk down the streets of Beacon Hill, white folks look at me and smile. They see what is in that reflection. They're not afraid. They don't feel threatened, and they don't think they're better than me. I move through this world with my head up. White men tip their hats and open doors. White women say, "Good afternoon," and compliment me on my hair or my dress or my purse. I can go anywhere I want and feel safe. I can enter a department store and try on a hat or a dress or some shoes, and no one even blinks an eye. No one thinks I'm dirty. No one thinks I'm going to steal. No one questions my morals. Everyone assumes I have enough money to pay, and they often extend me credit. They all assume that I am well-bred and that I know right from wrong. When I enter a restaurant, I can sit where I want, and when I order my lunch, I receive service with a pleasant smile. I go to work dressed in a suit, not a uniform. I work in an office and I sit at a desk. I don't have to clean that office floor, scrub that office bathroom. I get to sit where everyone can see me in front of a typewriter all day answering phones. No one expects me to pick up their mess or cook their meals or watch their children or wash their stinking clothes. You have no idea how easy this skin makes my life. You'll never be able to comprehend how glorious this is. That's my reality. This skin is my reality. It's safety. It's my path to having the life that I've always wanted, that I've always dreamed about. And I wouldn't give it up for you or Mama or Daddy, and certainly not for any so-called movement. I wouldn't give it up for anything or anyone in this world. Thank you.
Wonderful, Mariah. Thank you so much. Again, Freedom Summer will be opening in February 2021. Joining me now from New York is the writer of Freedom Summer, Cynthia Robinson. I'm gonna give Cynthia a second to pop up. Are you there, Cynthia?
Yes.
Hello, Cynthia.
Hello.
First, I want to thank you for being so incredibly understanding about the schedule changes. I know as a playwright, it can't be easy to be 1 week away from the world premiere of a new show and have it canceled. Not to mention that we had to cancel the second planned production of the play in July of 2021 at an Appalachian Festival. We canceled that about 3 weeks ago. So thank you for handling everything with such positivity. And please know NC Black Rep is committed to give it is starting with its world premiere February 19th through the 28th, 2021 at Reynolds Place Theater. So the play is about the two sisters, Nora and Carrie, but it's set against the backdrop of the 1964 Freedom Summer Voting Rights Project in Mississippi. First, what made you write the story and why did you decide to tell it in this fashion?
Well, first of all, just kind of like what you said earlier about taking responsibility for our rights. One of the things that I've always been very fascinated by, and actually I have reverence for, is that moment in time, during the Freedom Riders and the Freedom Summer Project. When you think about the Freedom Summer Project, just think about the fact that these were college students, 18, 19, 20 years old, who risked their lives to fight for people's right to vote. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I was 18 and 19 years old, I'm not sure that I would have been risking my life I'm not sure what I would have been risking my life for, but I'm not sure I would have been doing that. And I've always been really thinking about that just as a moment in time, especially as an educator. I mean, I work with young people. And so the thought that people would do that has always been something that I have really had a lot of reverence for. Just in terms of a time period, I think it's just such an important moment in time. Nora and Carrie come out of my family history. My mother is Carrie in some ways, and Nora is my mother's sister. So my mother used to tell me these stories about passing in our family. And it raised this question for me about, well, why would somebody want to pass, right? Which really is the question of why would somebody want to be white, right? And so I wanted to ask this question. I wanted to raise this question because I wanted to challenge the audience to think about the points of view of the characters. And I wanted to challenge them to think about what would they do in this moment in time when there are so few opportunities, when life is what it is, right? You're in a moment where people are challenged in so many ways, emotionally, politically, spiritually, socially. And it just is so ripe in terms of a moment for a conversation, an argument, a conflict between family members. And so I just thought that this was something that people could have many on-ramps to sort of think about for themselves. These are two characters fighting for their own freedom in many, many ways. And it's something that I actually think about a lot for myself, for my own kids. I have two kids and their sisters as well. So I just wanted the audience to think about that.
Well, before I ask the next question, I have to say thank you for wearing purple.
Yes, I'm repping NC. I wanted you to notice that. Thank you.
Ms. Hamlin, smiling right now. Do you have on black beneath it?
I have black and purple on.
Purple and black. For those who don't know, purple and black are Black Rep colors.
I'm doing the whole thing.
And our leader, Ms. Sylvia Hamlin, is smiling right now because of the way the way Cynthia is dressed. So when the show does open, what do you want people to walk away with from the show?
Yes. So you could say that this is a period piece, right? Because it's set in 1964. But I don't want people to think about it as a fossil, in that I always try to write from a place of, so what, who cares? So you sit in the dark for 2 hours or however long you sit there, and you've heard this story, and what does it have to do with you? What does it have to do with me? Why should I care about this? And, you know, I can go and I can forget about this story. but I want people to ask themselves more questions and engage in more conversation more than anything else. I want people to think about what are the connections to where we are today. I think there are many, many connections. I mean, you spoke about voting, right? I can't help but think about this play. Every time I think about this play, I think about it, it's so timely in terms of identity. It's so timely in terms of where we are in any given moment. So like, for example, we're in this pandemic and we are existing in systems that disadvantage people of color, okay? And so why are we in those systems? I want people to ask themselves questions more than anything else. I want people to think about what they can do to change those systems. And I believe that one thing that people can do is vote. I really believe that. People did, like you say, die. People dared greatly for our rights to vote. I know from working with young people and in different groups that I've been in that a lot of people relinquish their right to vote. And I want people to think about, well, what are the ways that you have a voice to change systems in your community? We're, as you said, that we're in an election year. People are thinking about the presidential election. But there are other elections that impact our communities, right? Our local elections that impact what our lives are like every single day. You know, what our lives are like, even in this pandemic, is going to be governed by the governors right now, right? So those are the kinds of things I want people to think about. I want people to think about their own freedom, what they're willing to do for their own freedom. The play asks those questions. It doesn't just ask those questions politically, but it asks those questions socially. What does it take to climb out of your family tree? You know, it's a play about family, right? So sometimes you have to climb out of your family tree, and it's about loyalty. What are you willing to do? I think that is just something that people can really just, I imagine people go to the play, go to dinner or whatever and have these conversations. I'm not really here to tell people what to think, but I do want people to always be looking for the timely connection. Where is the timely connection?
Wonderful. Now, I know you have some exciting news to share about the play, so please let our audience know what's going on.
Yes, so just recently, and it's just like it's brand new, the monologue you just heard was just optioned to be in an anthology titled She Persisted, Monologues from Plays by Women Over 40. I don't know why it's for women over 40, but for some reason my monologue is in there, but but it's there. And it's slated to come out in fall 2021. And so I'm really excited about that because when I submitted that monologue, I sort of felt like, is anybody really going to take that monologue? Because it's a really strong monologue. I mean, it's questioning whiteness and blackness. And I thought, oh, who knows? But it's really exciting that monologue would be published and that monologue would be something that people would be able to hear, see. So it'll be in print and also an ebook. So look out for that. Wow.
And I have to say it again, the show opens in February 2021. Mariah will be bringing Nora to life in the world premiere. And Tamika Bennett will be playing the sister Carrie. I had 3 weeks rehearsal with them. They are wonderful actresses, even more wonderful people. We had so much fun. And, Cynthia's really been the driving force behind this positivity of it didn't happen, but it will happen. It was whatever, it's meant to be. And there's these wonderful things happening with the show. So we will all regroup in January.
Yes, we will.
It's going to be a wonderful thing. I have one more question for you. I know you've been to NBTF. In fact, you were there last August. Mm-hmm. Can you share what that experience was like for you?
So I've been to NBTF several times. I've been there. I was actually there back in, 2009 as a playwright producer with my play Ascension a long, long time ago. And that was amazing. And then I've been there just as supporting my fellow artists and just as a regular person and just, and I would say that, well, first of all, I want to say, just follow up on something you said. I'm so inspired by the fact that Larry Leon Hamlin had a vision, had an idea, a nugget of an idea as a creative person, a creative Black man, and said, what if I did this? And then he did it. And then created a whole village of opportunities for, what is it, thousands of people for years and years. I just think it's such a lesson to all of us to dare greatly and to just do it. Just do it. And I'm sure over the years, people were like, what? You're going to do what? And you're going to have it in Winston-Salem? Who's going to come see plays in Winston-Salem? First of all, I love Winston-Salem. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to be. You go there and you just see a bunch of stories told by us, about us. And what I think is so powerful about that is people are always talking about how they want to see representation and you want to see us and you want our stories. People like to post about that a lot, right? And then you have this opportunity to just bask in it for, you know, days, right? It's a beautiful thing to be in a place where there's just stories upon stories upon stories told in beautiful, diverse ways, celebrating our diversity, celebrating our complexity, our beauty, our flaws. I mean, it's an amazing experience, both as an artist and just going there. I had the opportunity I was so grateful that I got to bring my parents down. There are other things to do other than see plays. You can go to great restaurants and there's like, you know, there's all kinds of like other activities to do. I brought my kids down. It's really just this little gem of an event that I don't know. It's so interesting. And so I just think it's affirming. It's unapologetic in the way that it is presented. I always look forward to it. And I think that, and everybody's doing it. Like, it's so exciting. Like when it's coming up on social media, everybody's posting about it. It's the place to be. And so that's all, both as an artist and also just going down there. And actually last time I went, Rasharda, you know, Rasharda Abrams, she was down there and she was presenting her one woman show. And when we saw each other, we were just embraced in tears, because the last time we were there together, she was in my play and she was thanking me. Can you imagine thanking me for her one person show? I was just like, what? But the point is that that's crazy because she's amazing. There's just so many amazing people, all generations. It's just an amazing experience. And I encourage people, even who are outside of the theater community, to experience this. You can see amazing theater other than on Broadway, people. You can see yourselves. You don't have to go and wait to New York City and pay $300. Hello. You can do this. And it's a wonderful field trip and it's in the summer. So there you go.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing everything.
Thank
you should bring
you.
it down and promote the festival. I love everything. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. Stay safe.
See you soon. Take care. Bye.
As Cynthia mentioned, there are so many components to NBTF, and one that always brings out big crowds is Teen-tastic. The event is coordinated by Demetria Nickens and is a collaboration with the City of Winston-Salem and the Winston-Salem Recreation and Parks Department. It offers entertainment for kids that include a fashion show, spoken word, a live DJ nightly, and a talent competition featuring teens from the community. Now, some pretty amazing talent can come from that competition. And to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, from Philly, here's the winner of the 2011 competition, Sadrina Cherie, singing "I'm a Star."
Someone give me a chance and just watch me break through. I deserve to be seen. This dream feels way overdue. I was born to perform more than anyone knows. I have passion and guts. I want this and it shows. I have fought, I have cried, I've been broke, I've been bruised, but at the end of the day, this life is what I still choose. I am song, I am dance, all I need is a break. This is all that I am. Someone give me the chance. I am more than the average. No one chance just to prove to you I am someone. Let me sing for you now, more than just 16 bars. If you give me a chance, you'll discover a star. I will risk everything if that's what it takes. I can be what you want. I know all that's at stake, all the strength, all the will. I'm a victor in fights when I stand on that stage. Watch my spirit dreamt wide awake. I've dreamt with my heart. All I need is a break so that the real dream can start. Cause I've worked way too hard to be blown off just yet. Time to prove to the world I'm someone not to forget. I can let all my dreams go nowhere. I won't stop till the day when I finally get there. To see my name bright lights up there on the marquee. All I need from you now is to wake up and see. I must start.
Wow. Thank you, Cedrina. That girl can blow. Fun fact, Cedrina is a former member of the North Carolina Black Reps Teen Theater Ensemble, TTE, a theater training program for kids ages 13 to 19. She also starred as one of the honeys in the NC Black Reps production of Jelly's Last Jam last year at the festival. Oh yeah, our kids work. In fact, back in February, I had the privilege and honor of watching another former TTE member, Mr. Jimmy J.J. Jeter, takes center stage on Broadway as the title character in the biggest musical in the world, Hamilton. The next TTE session is scheduled for the fall, so if you have a child who's interested in theater, please check our website, social media sites in late July, early August for audition info. Who knows, your child could be the 2021 Teen-tastic winner. Another NBTF favorite is Words and Verses, coordinated by Weusi Baraka. Words and Verses gives festival goers a chance to take the mic alongside featured poets and celebrity guests. Give us a feel for this event. Here's the host of Words and Verses, Winston-Salem's very own Larry Barron, better known as LB the Poet.
Where is paradise? Every day I leave my house, I have to kiss my family goodbye because jogging outside is more of a gamble than a pair of dice. What's your vice? Why doesn't the Black woman realize that she is God? And as a man, our whole purpose for being alive is to protect God while she's doing her job. The revolution will be televised. We're going live. I get so sick because half of my people don't give, they're not even trying to survive, let alone thrive, but wonder why we're consistently dying. There's a reality in our plain sight that my people are denying. I get so tired of asking why. Why did they have to kill that man like that? Why is he handling one of our queens like a man, but he asked for his permit to carry? Why do they even have a gun and a badge if they're that fearful and scary? The way young Tamir caught those bullets, you would have thought his first name was Jerry. Oscar was far from a Grinch. Never mind, same ending as the stories vary. My hands are up and I still can't breathe. They put it right in your face and you still don't see. You really think that we're free? Hi, my name is Larry, but you can call me LB the Poet, that is. And you see, God herself gives me a specific message to deliver and I flow at my pen. Bleeds through the cracks of the concrete and hopes to reap the needs of the seed soon to grow. It depends on the nutrients I have flowing throughout these words I have to lend. You see, a true leader creates leaders. Isn't the master supposed to be the teacher? Doesn't the pastor start off as a preacher of the word? Word, poetry.
One of the first people Mr. Hamlin approached for assistance when producing NBTF was Dr. Maya Angelou, who happened to be a Winston-Salem resident and professor at Wake Forest University. Dr. Angelou agreed and became the chairperson of the first festival, inviting as celebrity guests television talk show host Oprah Winfrey and the cast of the Off-Way production of The Blacks, a play in which Dr. Angelou has starred and one that included theater legends James Earl Jones, Roscoe Lee Brown, Louis Gossett Jr., Cicely Tyson, who else was in that? Godfrey Cambridge, and Charles Gardone. 2019 marked the 30th anniversary of NBTF. Last year's festival, close to 65,000 attendees. Yeah, we drew close to 65,000 people. We had an opening night celebrity gala, over 100 performers from 30 national and international theater companies. We had upwards of 50 new play readings, screenings of about 20 films, a nightly poetry jam, a national youth talent showcase, and countless workshops all over 6 days. So as Cynthia mentioned earlier, there is a lot going on. And for anyone thinking it, let me confirm for you that yes, that is a logistical nightmare, the brunt of which lands on Professor Reese and his army of grizzlies, the name given to volunteers, most of them students, who come from across the country to work 20-hour days in order to make the magic happen. At last year's festival, NC Black Rep also began work on what is arguably its biggest project outside of the festival: production of the feature documentary Holy Ground, The Legacy of the National Black Theater Festival, which explores the cultural significance of NBTF, celebrates its founder, Larry Leon Hamlin, and profiles its producer, the North Carolina Black Repertory Company. Led by Karamu Kush and line producer Clariel Marsh, the crew shot the entire 2019 festival and over 130 hours of footage, not to mention 30 years of archival footage we already have. So I suspect our editor will not have much of a social life over the next year. This is a project that went on my list of things to do day one on the job as artistic director. I remember my early days in New York, everyone telling me about this incredible festival I had to attend. A festival where you could run into Sidney Poitier or Harry Belafonte, Maya Angelou, Ruby Dee or Ozzie Davis, Lou Gossett Jr., the list goes on and on. This incredible festival in Winston-Salem. Of course, at this point, I would interrupt by asking, where is Winston-Salem? But in 2005, I finally made it to my first festival, and I can honestly say it lived up to the hype and then some. The festival is now referred to as an international celebration and reunion of spirit, and that's exactly what it is. Everyone is always in a good mood, despite no one sleeping for fear of missing out on something. There's great theater, and the community comes out in full force. To give you a taste of what I'm talking about, here's the first look trailer for Holy Ground, the legacy of the National Black Theater Festival.
Sums up your feelings about the festival.
Let's see. Probably amazing.
Give me a second one.
Ginormous. I'm gonna say it again. Ginormous.
Winston-Salem, that's where you have the National Black Theater Festival, you know, the International National Black Theater Festival, Winston-Salem. It don't make no sense. No, it's not supposed to make sense, man. It's supposed to be done.
This is what makes our country so incredibly powerful. These are the things that we are to celebrate, all Americans.
Black theater is a very spiritual theater. We're very spiritual people. And I think that
actors and people who want to come here but don't know how to get here. And we do all we can to let them know, but they want to come.
People say, you need to have something like this out in California. I said, no, we don't. I said, because it would not work in California.
You know what I'm saying? The bronze head that we have down there honoring him, that was here when he was alive, you know, so.
And he told me one time, I'm gonna live forever, Jones. I said, oh man, put brakes on that, man. Nobody does that. He says, hey, remember Larry Leon? I'm going to live forever. And now I see what he means.
now, this festival, I'm saying, is going to be a nuclear explosion. This festival is going to be a nuclear explosion. It's going to be marvetastic. And when we leave here, in addition to leaving $15 million to the local economy, we're going to leave a big hole in the city where the Salem won't be here because the explosion would just have wiped it out.
finally here. Time to do what we came to do. Welcome to Holy Ground.
You know, Larry had a passion for this festival.
The National Black Theater Festival is one of the most historic and culturally significant events in the history of black theater.
This was a perfect place for a playwright to hustle, for a director to go around and say, you need a, hey, come on.
Talking to Oprah Winfrey, Maya Angelou, Lou Gossett, Sister Tyson.
It doesn't matter how many times you have successfully proven yourself. You will always have to prove yourself.
I think what it does is, in presenting it, it raises an awareness. It raises the awareness amongst all the people who come as audience that this is happening, and it's happening in spades.
It's pretty exciting, man.
You can see work that is fresh and new and cutting edge that you just can't find every place.
It's beautiful.
Everybody except Denzel. He came 2 years later. Sing a song full of the weight that the darkness has gnawed us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought.
Thank you, Oldenburg, and keep raising that money for us. Thank you.
That film is going to be incredible. Our goal is to screen Holy Ground at the 2021 National Black Theater Festival. And to make that happen, we need your financial support. So if you believe, as we do, that this is a story that deserves to be told, that has to be told, I ask that you support History in the Making by donating to our Holy Ground campaign now through August 31st. We're offering some great donation rewards, all of which are detailed online at ncblackrep.org/Holy Ground. Again, that's ncblackrep.org/Holy Ground. Up next is the man who set the 2019 NBTF on fire with his feet, DeWitt Fleming Jr., star of Jelly's Last Jam. This man is the true definition of a triple threat as an actor, dancer, and singer. DeWitt actually just made history with his new album that was recorded live at Dizzy's Club, Jazz at Lincoln Center. It was the first album recorded live at Jazz at Lincoln Center with tap dance. The album is titled Sax and Taps Intersplosion Live at Dizzy's Club. DeWitt wrote the album with jazz saxophonist Erica Von Kleist. The album is available on Bandcamp, Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, CD Baby, just about everywhere. For more info, you can visit saxandtaps.com. That's saxandtaps.com. But for now, let's watch Jelly show us all how to jazz.
I'll show you how to play like folks down New Orleans way. Show you the stylish fingers they have. Ooh, what a noise they make. Stomp to the window shade. Start mixing, come on and get your licks in. Oh, 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 that's how you jazz. Take Buddy Bolden's blues, some Creole curly cues, and some sweet rat mustache. Oh, that beat struts along just like it owns the song. Then you hit it with it. Now the tune is going. Give me some oomph for it. Water don't come wetter, the enemy don't come better. That's how you jazz, how you jazz.
Jelly, jelly, jelly. Thanks, DeWitt. Dr. Maya Angelou was instrumental in the success of NBTF. Here's a poster from an NC Black production of her musical, And Still I Rise, which was produced as a benefit for NBTF, starring Clifton Davis, Janet Dubois, and Larry Leon Hemp. So I thought it was only fitting, and I was beyond excited in 2018 when NC Black Rep commissioned playwright Nambi E. Kelly to write a play inspired by the life of Dr. 2 years later, that play, Phenomenal Woman, Maya Angelou, is months away from its highly anticipated world premiere, July 31st through August 16th at Haynes Brand Theater. As we're all aware, no one knows if we'll actually be able to premiere the show on those dates. But what I do know is that Nambi has written a piece worthy of Dr. Angelou's legacy, one that is going to set the theater world on fire when it does premiere. The play opens with Dr. Angelou checking into the Brookstown Inn in Winston-Salem on her 86th birthday. She encounters a young hotel clerk who is not impressed by Dr. Angelou or her accolades. When generations collide, fueled by the politics of the day, Dr. Angelou takes the young clerk on an odyssey through the pages of her imagination, memory, and poetry in hopes of saving the young woman's soul. Joining us now from Sacramento is Inga Ballard, who will be playing the title role in Phenomenal Woman, to introduce us to a young Maya Angelou arriving in San Francisco. Take it away, Inga.
Hello, San Francisco. Wave to 'em, Clyde. Gonna build us a life. Where are all the jobs? These trolley cars are coming, running up and down, coming. Slanted streets sure are pretty. Never seen nothing like this here in all my life. San Francisco is a place that's got me feeling good and grown. Got my own place. That really nice lady, Mother Cleo, she didn't trust me at first, I could feel it. She looked me up and down with my baby boy on my hip and me all of 17 and just knew I wasn't right. I could feel it. But I got that job down at the restaurant by my wits. I can't cook, never learned how to cook until I took that sign off that door looking for a Creole cook and walked right up to the owner of that restaurant and said I was her girl, you see. Lucky me, I got good folks in my family who tell me, throw some onions in there, girl, some garlic, and make it spicy. So I do. I get there and mix up that food so well. If it wasn't Creole before, it's Creole now. And there are all kinds of folks who come through here. I'm putting my foot in this San Francisco Creole cooking. And in walks this tall drink of wonder. Every time he walks in, stalks in, time stops in, and I breathe in, breathe out. Breath stills, and well, I just keep on cooking. He's older than me, quite a bit older than me. And well, he asked me, how old are you, Ma? 19? More like 17. I don't say anything, can't say anything. My anything, his everything is everything. I can scarcely keep my breath in one place. My breath is in haste, my sweat in mouth I taste. He's looking at me, cooking with me. I look at him looking at me and I feel something I haven't never felt. Smell some kind of way I haven't never smelt. My anything, his everything is everything. Want me to take you home? Again, I can't speak. Taken by his sleek, his slick, his pick you up later. Later, Ma. Over another customer's head I speak, barely above a whisper. Okay. And he ambles on out the door. Ambles on out, I adore. Ambles on out, I am floored. He ambles on out with a strut that strikes struck. And he ambles in, and we have begun, and it feels like we've won. We giggle and we laugh, we talk deep, we unique, we are good, really good. I let go without knowing I was holding on, holding out, holding tight. I let go. He holds my son. He picks him up and holds him and cuddles him and laughs with him and allows with him and smiles with him and whispers to him only things fathers and daddies could know. And my son likes him good, likes him enough to not fuss and fidget, allows him to coo him, change him, woo him. And he looks at him and says, I could get used to you. I like him too. Something in me breaks, splits wide open. Something in me flows, becomes unlocked, and doesn't stop to think or reel. Maybe I should not feel. No, he's honest. My Curly. He isn't trying to play me or front me or lay me then stump me. He means it. He means me. I'm spinning, swimming in the curly of him. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Inga. Nambi has written an incredible play, and Inga is going to kill that role. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Now, another special guest joining me is playwright Nambi E. Kelly.
Hello.
There she is. Hi, Nambi.
Hey.
Yes. So, I love the play. Love you. So excited. I see you got that purple scarf around your neck. So you're in good with Miss Hamlin also.
That was a Daniel Carlton. He said, "Get some purple. Get some purple."
So let's just jump right in.
Sure.
Where do you start telling the story of an icon?
You start with the person. You start with the human being. You start with the woman. You start with the little girl. You start with a little girl who is traveling from to Stamps, Arkansas with her brother with a tag on her arm. You start with her. You start with her autobiographies, all 7 of them. They're amazing. It's a privilege and a joy to kind of roll around in her language and in her life and in her thoughts and in her prayers and in her hopes and in her dreams. And yeah.
So what's been the most exciting part of this journey, the most challenging part of this journey? I know it's been a journey.
I would say the most challenging part is wrapping your mind around all the material. She's so prolific. She has just such a body of work. And it's like every time I think I've found it all, there's something else that I don't know. And so there's that. But like really like sort of kind of wrapping your mind around what was written, when it was written, how it was written, what were the circumstances in her life, what was she feeling about, what man was she with, what was her relationship with Guy at the time that was happening, what was her relationship with herself, with her mother, Vivian Baxter. There's so much to contemplate in terms of what inspires art and what inspires when you create as an artist, because we're all influenced by everything that's happening in our lives. For instance, we're in a pandemic. So there's no telling what kind of work and how the work will be influenced based on this period of time going forward for writers. So that's been, it's been a welcome challenge. Well, the pandemic actually has been a great blessing in this sense, is that I have the time to sit down and read. Oh my God. And so it's amazing to like just spend time with her and to get to know her in a less structured way. I would say the hard part is figuring out what to tell, because all of it is amazing, right? So when you read, like even from autobiography to autobiography, like to watch the maturation of her as a woman and to watch how she sees herself and how it changes in the language and the poetry of the language, how she puts it on the page, how it falls out of her, how it's edited out of her is really quite remarkable. So the young girl that you meet in Cage Bird is very different from the woman that you meet in Mom and Me and Mom. At the end of, where she has a command of language, where she's already traveled the world, where she's already been published and had all these success and accolades, and she knows who she is, And so there's so much. It's really, I told you this when we first started this, that it really is like, this is like at least a 3-play saga. You know what I mean? It's at least, it's Nicholas Nickleby if you do it right. It demands that, because every moment of her life is what she shares, what she chooses to share is so specific and so rich. And it's just like, boom, you just want to see all of it. And so it's like, I guess the first draft of the play was what, like 150 pages or something. Yes. And that was not even telling the whole truth. Like that was like, okay, I can't really tell this whole story the way I really want to tell it. So I'm going to tell it in a monologue as opposed to a skin and see it. But it's like, you feel cheated because it's so much. And so just discerning what is important in that journey and really narrowing down, okay, what story do I want to tell through this lens of Dr. Angela is quite challenging. And I've spent a lot of time thinking about it today, even because the draft that you have is going to change a lot, just so you know. But maybe not by July, but maybe, I don't know. So there's that. Working hard and spending time with her as I'm figuring out how to give my cat his insulin shots. This is actually my ritual. I sit, because I have to feed him before I give him insulin. And so I wait with the book, I read. And so I just kind of keep an eye on the cat, keep an eye on the cat. And then once he eats, I put Dr. Angelo aside, I shoot up his needle, I shoot him up, I pet him, I kiss him, I love him. And then I go back to Dr. Angelo. And that's my ritual right now.
Well, for me, I know one of the exciting parts about this whole journey has been watching you take it from the 150 pages and how you pulled out, and I don't know what, the last reading was just amazing, and it's just so beautiful. And your talent as a poet is just such a perfect marriage to you know, to tell her story. It's amazing, y'all. You got to see it. It's just amazing. I don't know where it's going to end up, but it's amazing, right? You were the inaugural winner of the Sylvia Sprinkle Hamlin Rolling World Premiere Award for Phenomenal Woman. What was that like?
Well, I don't think I understood quite the magnitude of it. I mean, I knew the magnitude of it, but I didn't. But once I got down there, and I'm sitting next to Ted Lange and Stephen Bird, and like walking in the procession, I was like, oh my God, I didn't write a speech. Right? It's like, I guess I'm gonna make this up, you know. And it wasn't that I didn't take it. It was just the, like, when you're down there and you see all these amazing, beautiful Black people in their purple and their royalty and done up and honoring each other, like I felt like I didn't deserve to be there. You know what I mean? Like I felt like who am I to be walking in this procession with these drums blaring and all of these great people that I grew up watching on TV and seeing in the theater, and who've inspired me to live the life that I live. Like once I was there, like it was completely overwhelming. I mean, in the best possible way, but completely overwhelming. And it was just like, okay, I gotta say something. And when I, you know, and so in that moment, what do? You think about Dr. Angelo's wisdom, which was, before you walk into a room, if you're feeling any kind of angst, any kind of nerves, you talk to your ancestors and you say, walk with me. Come on, Uncle Willie. Come on, Vivian Baxter. Come on, Carol Evelyn Kelly. Come on, Dr. Don Quinn Kelly. Walk with me here. And I called on them and they showed up. And so like her lesson, her wisdom actually carried me through that moment. It was like, I'm going to find something to say and it's going to be absolutely perfect. And I have no idea what I said, but I felt good about it. And so, but so that's the first part of it. And the second part of it is, you know, the beauty that is laying that foundation for the person who comes after me, right? Because it's not just about this moment, it's about what happens a year from now, what happens 5 years from now, what happens 10 years from now, for, you know, to first of all, to have Sylvia Sprinkle Hamlin's name on this, right? And so to honor that, and then also to kind of, you know, knight people and bring them in, indoctrinate them into the greatness that are people. So like I felt like overwhelmed, but also I felt the power of the continuum. And I thought about all the people who've graced that stage before, and all the people who will come after me. And I thought, I'm just gonna run my race as hard and as fast as I can. And then I'm gonna pass that baton right back to who's coming after me. And they're gonna tell the next leg of stories, and that we're gonna honor each other that way. And so I felt like a spoke on the wheel, a tiny little piece, a blip, but in that blipness is brilliance. And it was such a great honor, and it was so great. It was such a great event. And I'm excited about this rolling world premiere, and I'm so happy that it's coming together, and that people are going to be able to come down to the festival, and writers, I mean, like playwrights, and really be like, okay, there's something here that I can build on, you know, aside from basking in all the beauty and getting all the art, that there's something that comes, a direct result of this environment is really exciting.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I should mention the two theaters who partnered with us on this is Hattie Lou in Memphis and the Ensemble Theater in Houston. So Phenomenal Woman will open at NC Black Rep, then it's going to move on to Hattie Lou in Memphis, and we close out at the Ensemble Theater in Houston. So now be one last question. When this does go up, when it opens, what do you want audiences to take away? She had to stand up.
Well, well, as I drop my, this is my life, right? My cat is heading at the door, and so because he's sick, I have to let him in. Hi, sweetie. So what I want people to take away is, when we think of Dr. Angelo, we think of her as this icon, right? And what I'm really excited, what's really been the joy for me, is to see how in getting to know her more intimately and reading her, that she doesn't pay herself that way. I mean, I didn't get to meet her, unfortunately, but when you read her, there's such a humility to how she presents her life. And there's such like she's hanging out with James Baldwin, right? But she's not like, it's like because that's her brother, because he reminds her of Bailey. It's not because, oh my God, this is James Baldwin. And that's how you know someone's great, right? And so what I wish for that is the simplicity of that, is that our people take that away, that our people engage in the work and know that whoever we're standing next to, we're rubbing shoulders with greatness, right? And we're great. And that the thing that she imparts is this constant ability to continue to persevere and survive. Like, I'm gonna be a cook today. I'm gonna be a hooker the next day. It's just like the way we all wear these different hats and we question our path, and that she didn't even hit until she was like 40, right? Thank you, God. So it's just like, but even not getting caught up in that, but just like what I hope people take away is trusting their path, because that's what she continued to do. Is like, as you engage her, it's like things just continue to unfold. It's like, oh, and I knew this person, and so this door opened, and now I'm in Africa, and then this door opened, and I'm gonna go work with Malcolm, and this door opened, and now I'm gonna work with King. And like just trusting the path and honoring spirit and God while you do it. And I think my hope is that that's what people take away.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm so excited to continue on this journey with you. Gonna shake up the world.
Dr. Angelou, it's all Dr. Angelou.
Thank you, Nabi.
Thank you.
When I took the job as artistic director at NC Black Rep, I knew every other year would provide me with the opportunity to work with and meet a host of theater legends. One of the bonuses was that on a daily basis, I would get to work with and learn from a legend who lives right here in Winston-Salem and has been and remains to be one of NC Black Rep's most important artistic collaborators, Miss Mabel Robinson. The former artistic director of NC Black Rep, Ms. Robinson is a Broadway veteran who has performed professionally with distinguished companies such as the Alvin Ailey Dance Theater, Martha Graham Dance Company, the Juilliard Dance Theater, as well as share the stage with the likes of Ben Vereen, Barbara Streisand, Diana Ross, and the list that goes on far too long to recite here tonight. Ms. Robinson is also the founder of NC Black Rep's Teen Theater Ensemble, TTE. So Cedrina, who you heard earlier, and JJ, that young kid who's playing Hamilton on Broadway, they are her babies. But what Ms. Robinson might possibly be most known for here in Winston-Salem is the holiday classic Nativity According to the Gospels, which she wrote and also directs and choreographs each December. This is without a doubt the fan favorite of NC Black Rep Productions. The beautiful thing about that is the entire cast is comprised of Winston-Salem residents. And if you think Winston-Salem got its nickname only because of MBTF, think again. So here to give you a taste, a true taste of Holy Ground, is Bethany Heath singing Ordinary People from Nativity According to the Gospels with piano accompaniment by Tony Gillen, the show's musical director. Take it away, guys.
Just ordinary people, God chooses. Oh, ordinary people. He chooses people just like you and me who are willing to do as He commands. God chooses people. That's gonna give Him all. No matter how small your all may seem to be, because little becomes much when you place it in the Master's hand. Just like that little lad who gave Jesus all he had, how the multitude were fed with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. What you have may not seem like much, but when you yield it to His touch of the Master's loving hand, then you will understand how your life may never be the same. Just ordinary people. You choose ordinary people. He chooses people just like you and me who are willing to do it. Your all may seem to be, because little becomes much when you place it in the Master's hand. Little becomes much when you place it in the Master's hand. The Master's hand. Oh, when the Master's hand.
Thank you, Bethany. We had a couple of a little technical difficulty here and there, but that girl can sing. Thank you so much, Bethany and Tony, and thank all of you for joining us tonight. For more information and to support NC Black Rep, please visit ncblackrep.org. Again, that's ncblackrep.org. Follow us on social media. Before we go, I want to thank our sponsors, the Arts Council of Winston-Salem and Forsyth County, the North Carolina Arts Council, American Airlines, and the Schubert Foundation. Everyone here at NC Black Rep sincerely hopes we can soon return to live programming, but until that time, stay home, stay safe, and stay creative. Good night.